Hey everyone, I'm Spider-Man 1991, and in this video I'm not going to be reviewing anything, I'm just going to be talking. A few days ago, supposedly Warner Brothers film schedule for for the next few DC Comics films for the next 2 years have been leaked. So far, basically this list is almost everywhere. Warner Brothers hasn't confirmed or denied anything on the list yet. But basically right now, everyone's speculating about what's going to happen, so I thought I'd bring in my 2 cents. Alright, so the first thing on the list is for May 2016, and that of course is Batman vs. Superman. Okay, that film, I'm kind of not really excited for it, but at the same time I don't hate it yet. I feel like there's still some more that has to be revealed for this movie, like maybe a few more, like maybe an actual synopsis, just so I can get a clear understanding about what could happen, and also maybe the first trailer. I think usually by the time I see a trailer, I know whether or not to officially judge a movie. I'll have my feeling for a movie just alright when I see the trailer for the first time. But right now, all we're getting for Batman vs. Superman, I think they just started filming. There is apparently the 15-foot statue of Superman that they are building in Detroit for the movie. No idea what that's behind, because it does seem weird that they would be building a statue of Superman, especially the way the last movie ended, because Man of Steel ended. Because I think the way they were setting up the next movie would be that Superman would probably be Superman's opinion would be debated. Some people would be like, "Oh, hey, he saved us all from the evil Kryptonian, from the alien invaders. He's awesome." Then there would be some people like, "Yeah, he saved us, but he also destroyed everything. He doesn't care about us. He just wants to cause destruction. He's probably just as bad as they are." So that's what I think that movie's going to be about. That's probably what one of the themes of the movie is, and that's how they're going to introduce Lex Luthor. He's going to pretty much help fuel the opinion that's like, Superman is bad, we need to get him out off the planet and stuff. And I think Batman's role in the movie, of course, Batman's played by Ben Affleck, who I already did a video about when the casting was first announced. I think Batman's probably gonna supposedly Batman's gonna be retired at this point, and I think the way they're gonna build the relationship is probably sort of like a lot of the stuff between Batman and Superman will probably be built up probably used from The Dark Knight Returns, which makes sense. That is a very popular graphic story arc. But overall, Batman vs. Superman, I am actually excited for it, just because this is going to be the first time on the big screen we're going to see both Batman and Superman, probably two of the most popular comic book superheroes ever, just on the screen at the same time. It's going to be really great, and I think that's just enough that would get people excited. Okay, so now this is pretty much, so we already know about Batman vs. Superman. This is pretty much where the rest of the list goes. That might be where everything is supposedly up to rumors right now. Okay, so for July 2016, that's actually pretty close. There will be a Shazam movie. Okay, well, that's obviously going with the rumors that apparently The Rock. I remember when people were asking about Captain Marvel movie or Shazam. Now, since I don't think they can use Captain Marvel the title anymore, I think that that's interesting. Like, how are they going to market this character if he can't actually say his name in the movie? Because when Billy Batson wants to turn into Shazam, he says Shazam, and that turns him into his superpowered form. But if he wants to change back, he has to say Shazam again. So it's like, okay, he introduces himself like, "I'm Shazam," and suddenly he's back to being Billy Batson. So maybe they will probably use the name Captain Marvel in the movie. I think they can get away with it, but I know for a fact that DC isn't allowed to use any comics that are titled Captain Marvel. They have to be called Shazam. So I'm not entirely sure how they're going to use it in the movie, because I think now people are just starting to refer to Captain Marvel as Shazam instead of calling him Captain Marvel anymore, because they might get rid of that. I think. And again, like I was saying earlier, The Rock, I think he was rumored to play Black Adam for a while, and that will probably be the main villain of Shazam. I think they might use do what they did for the New 52 origin of Shazam, is that they'll probably use Dr. Sivana to help move the plot forward, and also lead us to Black Adam, who he's probably going to be responsible for bringing back. And while at the same time we're going to have Billy Batson, who's going to probably meet Freddie Freeman, and pretty much I think they're going to probably make this movie built around the origin that we got for the backup stories that Shazam was featured in Justice League for a while. And once they do introduce Billy pretty much eventually Billy is going to find himself at the Rock of Eternity, where the Wizard Shazam is going to grant him his powers, and really can go either way about how they portray Billy Batson. They could show him as the perfect kid who has a heart of gold, who pretty much has gone through a lot of crap, but he still manages to be good and do good and stuff like that. And that's pretty much what Shazam's going to give him his powers. Or he might be the way they do him in the New 52 now, which is I don't want to say he's a bad kid. He's just right now kind of average, like almost normal for a kid. Like almost, I would say slightly, maybe more prone to breaking the rules than the original Billy Batson. And I think maybe that's what leads him to the Rock of Eternity. And once he gets there, they'll probably realize he has great potential to be good, and then they'll give him his powers. So I think Shazam is definitely an interesting character to pick for your next solo film. I mean, obviously a lot of supposedly Batman vs Superman is going to have a bunch of cameos in him. So I think it's going to be weird that will lead into Justice League. And a lot of the DC heroes are well recognized, so I don't think they need their own movies. But I guess when they were probably figuring out what hero needs a solo film before Justice League, obviously they decided Shazam. So that makes sense to me. Alright, next up, Christmas 2016, we have The Sandman. Okay, Sandman is a Vertigo title. It was written by Neil Gaiman, and I know it's one of Neil Gaiman's works that he's most well known for. I haven't read it yet. Yeah, I have a real long list of a bunch of books that I want to read, and unfortunately, Sandman, yeah, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I haven't found time to read Sandman yet. Maybe if they do actually confirm this movie coming out, I'll probably start reading some stuff so that I know what's going to happen, so that I could get an idea about what's going to happen. But yeah, Sandman, I do know that it's about the dream god Morpheus, something like that, and it also involves Death, who... I remember the character Death from that series made an appearance in Action Comics when Action Comics featured Lex Luthor as the main character. So yeah, other than that, Sandman is definitely something I think that's not really isn't really a superhero book per se. So it's something that the non-superhero comic book reader will enjoy. So obviously they're covering that division, that part of their demographic. So I think that's a smart idea. Do I think this would be connected to the Justice League? I think it might be more like... it kind of feels like Sandman is probably going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy of the DC Comics films. Alright, next up, then we have for May 2017, we have the Justice League movie, which was announced, and apparently Zack Snyder will be directing it. So yeah, Justice League. We all know who the membership is. We don't really know who's going to be on the... Well, obviously we know that we've got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and supposedly Cyborg, and I guess Shazam too. So that's the membership so far. Will there be anyone else? Well, I just figured out that today, apparently they announced that Aquaman would be in Batman vs Superman. So maybe Aquaman will be a member of the Justice League. Who knows about Green Arrow or Flash, who have their own TV series coming out. Maybe they'll... I mean, obviously, if they're going to have Flash in the Justice League, they should just go ahead... I think they should just go ahead and use Grant Gustin, who's playing Barry on the TV series, just because I think that's more convenient for them, rather than having someone new and saying, oh, hey, this TV show doesn't take place within the DC Cinematic Universe. I just think that they should just go ahead, use him for the Flash, if they're going to have him in the Justice League movie, because I think that would just be a lot easier. It will tell people that, hey, the TV shows do exist in the same universe, and that will get a lot of people excited. It would. So, Justice League, I think, and still, all this is speculation. I would really like to see a Justice League movie. As far as their main villain, who would be a good villain? I guess Darkseid. I mean, my first thought is about a major DC villain that would cause these heroes to unite. My first thought would be Darkseid. And here's another thing here's another name that they could use. They could probably use the Anti-Monitor. That would be another good villain they could use, because if they use Darkseid, a lot of people will think, oh great, they're copying Marvel because Darkseid's basically the same as Thanos. Well, fun fact is that in terms of comic books, Darkseid was created before Thanos, and so that's just an interesting. So really, it's not really. So I wouldn't say Darkseid and Thanos are really copying one. Using either one of them is copying the other, but I think that if they want. But I think they might avoid using Darkseid because they don't want it to be exactly like the Avengers. They want to do something, their own ideas. So they might choose. So I guess they want a good villain to use to unite the Justice League that isn't Darkseid. They should probably use someone like the Anti-Monitor, or maybe even Mongol or Imperiex. Those guys, the last two were pretty much featured in several Superman stories. I know Mongol has been featured a lot in Superman, and also Imperiex is part of the Superman Our Worlds at War story arc. So that's something. So I think that would be another good villain they could use. So yeah, Justice League. I pretty much would have to wait till I get to see the membership about who they want on this. But so far, I think we are getting hints about who's going to be on the league, other than the big three. Okay, next thing, for July 2017, we have a Wonder Woman movie. Finally, Wonder Woman movie. I know people have been wanting that for years, and believe me, I understand. Wonder Woman is a great character. She's very popular, but that's the thing, though. I think DC wants to try, but I think they're being patient about this, though. And it's weird that it's taking place right after the Justice League, though. Because, I mean, I figured for a Wonder Woman movie, they could have at least used it before. They could have at least done one Wonder Woman movie before Justice League. I think that may be a little more sense, but I think DC doesn't want to do that. They don't want to kind of do the same thing as Marvel does. They kind of want to do something else. So I think they want to introduce the Justice League, then kind of do the solo films and introduce everyone in their own perspective lights. But, okay, back to the Wonder Woman movie. I really think they are going to take their time with this. I think DC wants to take their time with this because they do not want to screw it up. They know that Wonder Woman is popular. They know that people love her. But they also know that people will be critical about it. I mean, really, it's all debatable about how really, the best way they can portray Wonder Woman is if she's a strong, noble female who doesn't take any crap from anyone. Okay, probably not. Okay, probably gonna have to class that up a bit, but yeah, basically they need to show that Wonder Woman. They need someone well, obviously Gal Gadot is gonna play Wonder Woman, and I'm not so sure about, and I'm still on the I'm not really sure about how she's gonna be because I haven't seen her. Because the only real thing we've seen of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is just a few pictures of her on set and some civilian clothes. So no idea how that's gonna go. So no idea how that's gonna go down. The Wonder Woman movie itself, I think, is a good idea. I think that it's about time Wonder Woman got her own movie, really, because she's great. She deserves it. So I think right now, though, I think DC is going to be patient, and they are not going to just rush into this. They want to take their time. They want to plan it out, and hopefully it works out for them. All right, and then for Christmas 2017, it looks like we have a Flash and a Green Lantern team up. All right, that's actually pretty great. I like Flash and I like Green Lantern. I think they would be great together on the big screen. Again, back to a comment I previously made. They should just go ahead and use Grant Gustin as Flash. I think that would be better than having to recast the Flash just for the movies, even though they already have a guy playing Barry Allen on TV. They should just go ahead and use him for the movies as well as the TV show. That's the most logical move they could make. Clearly, they haven't made any announcements. I think, although I don't think they're going to announce they want Grant Gustin to be the Flash until after, I think, the first season of The Flash airs, because even though everyone's excited for the Flash TV series, we still haven't seen it. It still hasn't aired yet. So I think that we just have to be patient. So I think that maybe at the end of the first season, if it gets renewed and everyone has a bunch of positive reviews about it, like, Flash, it's awesome! Like, if it does almost as well as Arrow, or even better, at the end of its first season, I think Warner Brothers is just going to go ahead and say, okay, we want this guy to be the Flash in the movies. Okay, now for the Green Lantern part. We already know that Ryan Reynolds is not going to be Green Lantern anymore. So, obviously they're going to recast him. Question is who? Not just which actor, but which Green Lantern. Because they have plenty of choices. They could go and use Hal Jordan again, or they could use Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner. Personally, I think it's going to come down between Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart. And either one is great, because Jon Stewart is popular because of the Justice League cartoon series. A lot of people know him from that. And also, he's a very... Also, Jon Stewart is... I would say he's a lot more controlled than compared to Hal Jordan. Jon really thinks things through. He's more detail-oriented. Hal, however, Hal Jordan is great. Is zealous. He's a great leader. He's a great fighter, but he is kind of hot-headed. So I think that I really think it's going to be a tough choice between whether they want Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart, and either one would be great, just as long as they get the right actor. Even though if they choose Hal Jordan, I would really like them to use Nathan Fillion. I don't see that happening, unfortunately, which is very weak. But yeah, hey, we got at least 4. But hey, we've got like 3 years until this movie comes out, so they're going to want to take their... So it's going to be a while, and who knows whether... And there is no word about whether or not Green Lantern is going to be in the Justice League movie, but I think he should. Because then they could... Because I really think that since we have a Wonder Woman movie and a Flash and Green Lantern team-up coming up, we will see those characters in the Justice League movie. So I think Flash and Green Lantern are going to be in the Justice League movie, as well as Shazam, Cyborg, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. But yeah, for the Flash and Green Lantern team-up, I think that if they wanted some good ideas that they could use for this, they should look at a miniseries called Flash and Green Lantern Brave and the Bold, which was a 5-issue miniseries done that sort of highlights the best team-up, that sort of highlight that... Well, it was an original miniseries that sort of looked at different points of Hal Jordan and Barry Allen during their superhero careers, and it kind of showed them at different points and how strong their friendship was. So I think if they use any stories from that for inspiration, then this movie could work. Then the Flash Green Lantern team-up could work. Alright, and finally, for May 2018, we have Man of Steel 2. So we're going to have to wait about 4 years till we get another solo Superman movie. Wow, that is going to be a while. Like, seriously. Man of Steel 2. Basically, I think Man of Steel 2 might deal with basically Superman's actions with Batman vs. Superman and Justice League, because I think after those movies, maybe Superman's public opinion will go up, but Lex Luthor will still hate him. And so I think for a good Superman sequel, if Lex Luthor is still involved in this, then they should involve Luthor teaming up with Brainiac. Like, seriously, I think Brainiac would be a great villain to bring on to the Superman film franchise. I remember reading somewhere that originally they were going to use Brainiac for Superman 3, but then they changed directors. Everything went to hell in that movie. But overall, I think obviously after Lex Luthor and General Zod, the next well-known Superman villain is probably Brainiac. So probably for Man of Steel 2, they should use Brainiac. Also, maybe get into a little more detail about Clark and Lois Lane's relationship. Maybe let them get married. That's just something that's probably a long shot, but seriously, that would be something that would really something really great to see. Overall, Man of Steel number 2, it's going to be a while. I'm really not speculating that much, because I know it's going to be a while until they finally make it, until we get anything about that movie. So that's pretty much it for the rumored DC schedule. That's all they have. it looks like a pretty good list. They obviously are starting. I think DC Comics is now starting to plan things out with their comic book superhero movies. Obviously, because let's face it, superhero movies right now, they are popular. They are blowing up. The genre is blowing up. Obviously, Warner Brothers needs to take advantage of that, and they are definitely doing the right move by planning everything out, knowing what to do, and trying to figure out how to connect it all. I think that works. Supposedly at Comic-Con this year, Warner Brothers will announce their official DC Comics film schedule. So I guess there could be some differences from what we just saw, what just came out a few days ago, than what's going to happen in San Diego. Who knows if it will be the same or if it will be different. I really hope that some of this stuff stays, particularly the Flash and Green Lantern team up. That looks interesting. I can't wait to see that. Interesting enough, there is no solo. They haven't done anything with the solo Batman movie, so which is a bummer because I think that would be a bad move if they have Ben Affleck as Batman and he does an amazing job. I think maybe giving Ben Affleck a solo Batman film may be dependent on his performance in Batman vs Superman and Justice League. And I think after that, if people love him enough, then they'll give him the solo Batman film. They'll go, "Hey Ben, you did a good job. You can do a solo Batman film now." And of course, Ben Affleck will be really happy about that. But yeah, overall, that's what I think about what's going to happen in all these DC movies. That's how I feel about all these rumored DC films. What you guys think from what I just said, please comment below. I would love to hear what you guys think about it. Also, thank you again for watching my video. Thank you for subscribing and checking out my channel. I'm Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.